welcome, welcome. Welcome. I am here with Garrett, Duncan, my very good, my very good friend, and we're gonna let Facebook go ahead and let you guys know we're out here. It's gonna probably take about 30 seconds for the audience to build. Make sure as you guys are jumping on, put in a comment that you're out here. Let us know, a thumbs up, love button. Oh, my sister's out. Yay! Hey sis, what's up? What's up? Yeah, let us know you're out there. Yeah, we had to clear the energy in this office that we're using.
It's okay. We got your back.
Yeah, Raul, nice to see you out there. Thanks for sending us love, guys. Yeah, we have, a few people popping up. Thanks,
Raul,
yeah.
I?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't met Raul myself.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that are international on mine, so it's all over the world.
Well, cool.
Yeah, so we've got, while you guys are jumping on, and we're letting...
Hey, Miss Deb.
Yay. Hi,
Hello.
Deb. While we're letting people, Facebook build the audience, we are going to have you guys just say hi if you want to put something in the comments box to let us know that you're out here. And yeah, thanks, or send us thumbs up and love. So thanks so much. Hey, hi Raul, thanks. Hola.
Hola.
Hola. Yeah, so okay, about 5 more seconds. We'll let it build. It's been an interesting week. I've had a lot of Facebook lives, and he was just telling me about my Connie Chung is coming out. Yeah, I wonder what Connie Chung is up to anyway.
Look, there's a purple light on mine right over my head.
Oh, there sure is. Whoa, that's great. Wow, awesome.
Hey, Miss Tracy.
Yeah.
Lots of love.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi guys. Thanks for.
Hello.
Great. Hey, thanks sis for sharing the video out there. Okay, so let's get started.
Hi, Ian.
I wanted to say, first of all, thank you guys for joining us on Facebook Live. I am with my very good friend, Garrett Duncan, and he is a Native American Indian shaman. And
again in this lifetime.
We have been together in many other lifetimes and done shamanic work in other lifetimes as well. And here we are again, sharing the light. So what a surprise. Anyway, Garrett and I met a few years ago. Has it been a few years now? Yeah, it's been a few years now. And I remember meeting you, and I was like, we were at a powwow, and I was somewhere else. My spirit went to Tibet or something like that, and decided to go to Tibet. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Harold. Hey, guys from Venezuela. But anyway, I remember meeting you, but not really remember meeting you because I was like so spaced out. I almost felt really like I was on some kind of drug. And I don't do anything, guys. I don't even drink.
She was on a high, but it was a true high.
I was high somewhere.
She didn't need anything to get there.
I swear, I don't need to. I don't think either one of us need to do that. But yeah, it's been a few years now, and you have been one of my mentors as well, guided me through a lot of my path, and grateful for you for that. And so it's been a wonderful blessing, and here we are sharing space together. And thank you guys for all jumping on and sharing some of your time here with us tonight. So we're glad to see you here. Thank you. You seem like you got something ready to pop out of your mouth.
I know. I'm already going into the zone.
I know.
So a lot of we're certainly going to be very open with tonight's discussions and what we're going to talk about with regards to the past lives, because it's always a fun. I like to look at it from a fun venue, a fun thing that individuals tend to ask me when I go and do the affairs, when I'm doing my counseling sessions. A lot of the times when I do the healings for individuals, it's always focused on a past life of some kind. And a lot of the times, a lot of these pains and a lot of the fluctuations, energetic depressions or whatnot, emotion stuff is connected to that. One of the things that that you can tell for sure that when it's connected to the past life, most likely it has to do with a trauma. So when you think about your own individual traumas, especially like in the form of a phobia whatever that case in regards to a phobia, one of your really strong fears there, it's most likely connected to a past life in which you separated. So in shamanism, in native tradition, medicinal ways, we talk about what's called the soul retrieval. So soul retrievals need to be done because in that point of trauma, what ends up happening is it's so traumatic on that person's life that they actually separate a piece of their spirit, a piece of their soul separates out of the body because it hurts so much. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight too, you know, with if you want to call it more of the negative component when it comes to past life, but more of on the light side of things, the lighter side of things with past lives, it's like when you have that familiarity with it, when you have a sense of familiarity, like you've done this before, or why is it I'm so drawn to feathers, or I'm starting to dream about buffalo, or I have some connection to the animal spirits. You know, I tend to have those individuals who have a strong native connection, and they usually come to me. And that's where, initially, you know, universe, spirit brought both Sophia and I back together in this lifetime. And just to give you a little bit more insight there, Sophia and I were, she was an apprentice in that lifetime where we were both Lakota. And I believe female. She was female in that lifetime, if I remember. And she had started the medicine journey in that time. And in that lifetime, unfortunately, didn't finish. But now that's why we're back together again. We got to finish where we left off.
Yeah, it didn't finish. It was
I know, and that's why I still can't get rid of her.
It was an interesting one. I was kind of like...
Yeah, she's like, no, I don't connect. But, I mean, you know, another cool feature about this, though, is, like, if you look at Sophia right now, I've shared with her, I said, you look native. If you see, you know, she's got long hair, even the features, she would pose, like, if we would take her to a powwow, everybody probably would say, yeah, you look native. You definitely have those aspects that you look. So that says to me, yes, very strong, probably a very strong, strong native tradition past. Yep.
Yeah, and yes, people either think I am I have Native American Indian heritage because of the other lifetimes. And guys, we tend to look like ourselves, just in different, you know, sometimes different hair colors, but generally I think sometimes the shape of our face is our eyes and things. We just go from male to female, different, you know, races, nationalities, and we just cross over. But generally we do look the same. And I am, I think people would consider me ambiguous because people have asked me, are you Native American Indian? And I mean, I've had that asked so many times. Or are you Asian? Are you Hawaiian? Or what are you? And they can't figure me out. So it's because I've had a lot of different lifetimes. And a lot of lifetimes, I think, with dark hair. So, and Native
probably female, too.
Yeah, a lot of female lifetimes.
A lot of female lifetimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah. But yeah, that lifetime, yeah, we've had some other ones, too. A lot of interesting lifetimes. And
I don't recall. Remind me again, what was another lifetime aside from Native?
I do know that we've had some kind of life as some kind of monk. It was probably a very quiet lifetime, and it was in a monastery.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've been a monk a lot of times. I've served through Taoism and Buddhism, and I've been monks in a lot of these lifetimes. So me being very quiet and a lot of meditation, I think that just
reserved. You know, when you think monks, you think they're very quiet and very reserved and meditate a lot. That was my impression. And when I came in connection with my monk, in which came to light for me from the time of Tibet, I just remember saying to myself and declaring, I said, I don't want to do that again. Because I remember being in meditation all the time and just being in that sense of discipline. And of course, my spirit, my body at the time was like, yeah, great, I've been there, I've done that, but I don't think I have any inclination again to do it. But I do recall a lot of the medicines and a lot of the tools from that lifetime. And one of the ones that I clearly remember using and listening to is the singing bowl. Yeah, I mean, when I played the singing bowl, when I saw it for the first time, it just came back naturally.
Yeah.
And even the vendors that were watching me play it, they're like, "You are a pro. And have you played it before?" I said, "Not in this lifetime, but I know I have." And so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And I use it now in my own. I would consider myself a modern shaman. I guess a modern shaman is someone that does shamanic work in today's time. We fit into the culture that we're in. We're basically shipped into wherever we're at, and we kind of integrate and live within society, and we take on the same traits as whatever is going on in our environment. And we work with the land and nature and water and trees that surround us, and whatever is going on in that society, the civilization. That's what. So my work is really very modern, even though I do use tools too, and I do use the Tibetan singing bowls. It's so natural, and I love the sound, and it just resonates with me on that level as well, from the monk other lifetimes.
And nun too, if I remember right.
Yeah.
You got a nun.
Oh, I'm sure. I've taken a lot of vows, and that's the other thing. When you're, and that's what we're talking about. How other lifetimes are pinnacle. When we can identify and almost realize, yes, number one, accept that we have had other lifetimes, and how they cross over, and why they're, and understanding the pinnacle parts of these other lifetimes and why we're here again. And it's like you said, if somebody, like I gave this example before in another video or something. I had a nanny that took care of my boys, and she told me she was extremely afraid of water. She didn't even drink water. She couldn't even barely get herself to get into a shower to wash, because she was so freaked out. And so I said, well, what do you drink? And she said, well, I drink juice, and I drink soda. And I thought, well, you went through your whole life not consuming much. Well, I mean, that's, it sounds, but I knew, and my guides told me right away, she had died a tragic drowning death. And that's why she was so deathly afraid of water.
Yep.
And it wasn't coming from this lifetime. She was born into it. Nothing had happened to her in this lifetime. Because I did ask, I said, something in this lifetime happened to you that was traumatic, that could have possibly brought that up. And she said, no, I don't remember anything from this lifetime. But I saw that it was because of that drowning accident. And that soul retrieval that you're talking about, her soul, part of her soul had split off, because when we go through something really traumatic, our soul wants to leave our body, and it's like it knows it's coming, and so it will immediately leave the body, and so all that's left is the physical being that's there going through some kind of motion. And our soul will sometimes watch what's going on from a distance, and see what's going on, but it will leave the body. And especially it's already gone, not only with the tragic situation, but if we know that the physical form's about to pass away, die, then the soul is gone. It's ready. It's going to cross over, leave, or transition and go to another part. And sometimes it doesn't even do that. Sometimes it just kind of hangs around.
Yeah, it hangs around. Other times it's like the body or the memories of it come back, like certain traumas or certain events in this lifetime will cause it to come back. It's like you start to remember certain things, and then the emotions that come with it, the sense of fear or maybe dread. A lot of times the sense of dread will be affiliated with something that's so tragic. Yeah, so a lot of those emotions that come whenever a soul splits like that, you're basically reliving it. You're reliving it, and sometimes you don't know why. Yeah. And, if you're intuitive or you go and see someone who is, they can probably give you some more insight as to what had happened. And a lot of the times, that's beneficial. But when I do the healing sessions on individuals, sometimes it's not important, because it could be more detrimental in this lifetime and keep that sense of trauma to be instilled in their energy fields. And so therefore, a lot of times it's like, okay, it's just more for your curiosity or more for your awareness. But let's neutralize that now. Let's clear that out, so therefore, there'll be no fear of it possibly happening again.
Yeah, and this doesn't necessarily just happen from a physical trauma either. It can be a number of things. It can be associated to our prosperity, our wealth, If we have done something in other lifetimes where we have stolen from people, we have taken vows, if we've been part of religion and taken vows of relying on the church and the community to take care of us, and so we take vows of poverty. In relationships, in other lifetimes, we take all kinds of vows and saying, we're going to be together forever or whatever, and or these are vows that people. We have to be conscientious of what we are saying, because they get carried into other lifetimes until they get cleared, released, broken, terminated.
Yep.
So it's not just physical stuff that is Pinnacle in this lifetime. It is also emotional stuff and also health. There's all kinds of health things, health issues that could come up in this lifetime because of something else. And if we weren't so, if we weren't so nice to somebody, maybe, and this goes to some things around karma as well. But if we weren't so nice to somebody that maybe had a health issue, well, we kind of might experience it in this lifetime, what they were going through in another lifetime. So, yeah, very important to be aware and ask those questions. What's coming up, and is this coming from another lifetime?
And a lot of the times, too, when I give my sessions to individuals, we always start off with a initial introduction, getting back in tune with their energy, and their body will start to speak to me. It'll start to tell me there's an ache here, there's a pain going on here, and then what I tend to do is intuitively I go in more deeper and say, okay, where's the source coming from? Where's the source of this pain coming from? Whether it's physical pain, whether it's emotional, where does it come from? And then that's where more than likely, that past life will come up, in the form of like warriors. A lot of the times, with each of us here, we've been warriors more than once. I know we have. And so, that sense of where we need to battle and fight, it tends to come out. So in this time, we tend to choose to be more in compassion, to kind of keep that balance, to keep it, the aggression down, if you want to call it that, so that way it can be more in the heart, more in the heart. So sometimes what ends up happening during a session is that once they become aware of it, once they become aware of where this trauma is coming from, then we can just say, okay, well, are you ready to alleviate? Are you ready to let it go? So therefore, it's brought this awareness to you, and it's brought this sense of like, okay, it's probably done. So therefore, let's go ahead and move forward. Let's move forward. And sometimes, though, with repetition, though, a lot of individuals, if they don't get the lesson, or if they don't understand why it keeps reoccurring, then those patterns need to be broken, and the patterns need to be broken. And a lot of the times, it's that declaration that we have to make and say, okay, we're done. Let's move forward. Okay, neutralize. All right, let's go. Let's take it to the next level. And then usually, what ends up happening is the body starts to respond, and the pain goes away immediately. It's like that pain's gone, it dissolves, the emotional trauma is still there, and it's like it's all gone. Yep. So.
Yeah, exactly. I and even in my own body, and others that where somebody says, oh, I have this lower back pain, I have no idea what's going on, and why it's because of another lifetime where you're talking about the warrior. They were in some kind of battle. Yeah, exactly.
Got stabbed with the sword or something.
Stabbed
or
in the back. Yeah, exactly.
I have one individual, one client one time, it was during the time of Bugsy Malone for him. And he had a real strong, real strong sense of don't come near my solar plexus. So it was like every time I would go to this with my hand, right away he would kind of be like, okay. And he was, protects himself and clothes. He felt such a vulnerable, almost very vulnerable when this happened. And so I told him, I said, I see this time when you were in Chicago, and I see this time where, you were part of this gangster, and you were part of this opposite gang, and you got shot. I go, I see it. And that's why right now you feel like. And so when I did the energy work on that specific part of his body, it completely cleared it up, and I sealed it because it was like a hole there was still a hole. And then, needless to say, he even said that he had a little small birthmark that was there.
Yes.
So birthmarks.
I was gonna mention birthmarks next.
Yeah, definitely. Birthmarks are also
yes.
like the physical attributes. Like if you were to think of it as a scar, it's a scar in some sense, a scar from a previous time too. So they're usually good indicators.
Yeah, because I have a large birthmark. I would say on the left side of my body, from right here all the way down my hip, and that is because I literally killed myself in another lifetime where I was a monk, and I remember having the recollection of this and thinking, why would I jump off a cliff? Why am I a monk dressed up as a monk jumping off a cliff? I had no idea why this recurring image was coming. And then more of the puzzle pieces started coming together, and Spirit had showed me that I was a monk during the time the Dalai Lama had exiled from Tibet to India, and the monasteries, the Chinese were coming in and destroying all the monasteries. And so I dressed up as my master to ward off the Chinese and acted like I was my master, and I knew that I was going to die anyway. They were going to kill me, so it didn't matter. And I had done a lot of ceremonial work around protecting my other lifetimes because I knew I was going to be incarnated. And so the thought of committing suicide over being killed by the Chinese was not, I was like, okay, I'm sacrificing my life for a greater good here. Hopefully it'll save not only my master, but other monks and nuns in this monastery. And so I jumped off, killed myself, and I have the scar, and what I've been told by my guides is that's where I landed when I hit, the impact. Yeah, the impact.
Yep,
where I hit, exactly. Yep. And so that there's a big, and it looks like it's just a big birthmark. Never knew why it looked like that, but now, yeah.
Now she kind of knows.
Yeah, exactly. And then, let's talk a little bit about people that just, if you're going through financial challenges, obstacles in your life, income. There's a lot of that going on right now, relationship stuff, financial stuff, and there's all kinds of things that have happened in other lifetimes. Like I said, whether we not only carry stuff from our grandparents or our lineage that gets passed down through us, it is other lifetime stuff as well, where we have done, like I said, religious work and taken vows of poverty and anti-materialism, and then, or else we've done other things that weren't so nice to other people and probably stole, and we created some interesting karma.
Yeah.
Some of us for ourselves. So even now in this lifetime, something as simple as, I took the pen from my office. I just like the pen, and I decided to take it home with me. These are things that we all have to be very conscientious of because they do create some interesting financial obstacles.
And also lessons, too, that come with it. And whether it's this lifetime that you need to overcome the lesson, or maybe if you decide to come back again, which I'm sure you guys will, you will, and then it'll come with some of those agreements or contracts that you set to accomplish and to neutralize, and lessons that need to be gained as a result. One of the things that Spirit's sharing with me right now is I'm hearing more of the sense of what happens when you don't alleviate it in this lifetime. What happens? Does it just stay there? And a lot of it, mostly just so you guys are aware, it comes down to really free will. So, when you're up there back in connection with the stars and you're deciding, okay, I want to go back onto Earth and I want to have fun. And so you'll have those events where you'll want to plan, the fun events. Maybe you decide to get married, or maybe there's a partnership, or maybe you'll start your own business, whatever the case there. But then there's also some of the consequences of the lessons that need to come as a result. And so that's usually up to you. So in some instances, you're really guiding and planning your life on Earth before you come here. It's like, okay, up until the age 27, this is what's going to happen. And then from 27 to 35, this is where my growth's going to be. And it's kind of like you're planning. But here's the thing, though, is that even though you have a map of what lessons need to be learned or what experiences need to happen, just know because of the law of free will, you still have the choice whether or not you want to continue to play that game.
Exactly.
And you amend those contracts. I've been getting a lot of that insight and a lot of individuals coming to me wondering, well, how do you do that? I'm like, well, don't be too complicated about it, just kind of it's all about your intention. So whatever intention that you want to place, if you want to amend it and you decide to shift, okay, I'm done with this business, let's move to something else, then definitely you can do it.
Yeah, it is. It does come down to intention. And we do come here, like you said, with it's almost like a map, that plan. And we're here, it's like, okay, I want to learn this lifetime kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and love. And these are the key players that are kind of come up with, into my life yes, who wants to volunteer to teach me a lesson about this and forgiveness? I want you to show up as my intimate partner, and I want you to do something that's going to burn me, betray me, abuse me, and so that I get this experience, and then I get to choose what's next. Do I get to forgive you, or do I get to continue to be bitter and fight with you and be angry about this? So these, we have these paths, and how difficult do I want to make it? Do I want to get angry, upset, and frustrated and fight with you, and this goes on for 10 years before I get my lesson, or do I want to learn the lesson immediately and be in a peaceful, harmonious state and get the lesson right away? So, I mean, there's a lot of ways that we can learn, and it's like you said, when we're here, there's probably millions of paths that we can choose, but the overall grand scheme of things is, yes, you are going to, yes, if we chose, yes, let's get the lesson of forgiveness around betrayal, then it's going to be served, and it will continue to be served until we get it. Until we get it.
Until you get it.
Yeah.
And then that's how you know. A lot of times I always tell clients, it says, when you get the lesson, when you know you got it, that's when Spirit brings you people in those exact same situations. And you're like, okay, I can step up and say, now I can give you the shortcuts. Here's what I did to help alleviate this, or here's what I did to help neutralize it, because that person is going through exactly the same thing. And so that's where you kind of gain the insight and become, in some aspect, really working with, I like to call the healer instinct comes out. So you become that person and say, okay, here's what you can do to help you. Whether it's a singing bowl, whether it's a feather, then the whole notion of tools that come play, or maybe the vows and how to neutralize them, how to use word, how to use intention. So it's all about learning and giving freely, and learning how to work with it to be the most effective. The most effective way to work with it. One of the things, too, that's coming through is just to kind of give you guys an awareness. It's a very general question that Spirit says I'm hearing mostly from you guys, is that how do you know? How do you know if you've lived this life before? Or how do you know if you maybe had such a fascination with something? So first of all, you're drawn to it to begin with. It's like, why is that I'm so connected to Egypt? Or why is it that I'm so connected to native traditions? Why is Druidism something that I feel very strongly connected to? Why do I like watching movies about King Arthur? So when you start to kind of ask yourself and ponder those questions, but you still feel this strong soul and spirit resonance with it, more than likely, you've lived it before, because what you're doing is you're reliving it now in this current lifetime. So whether it's depicted in a movie or a book, or someone even talking about their trip to Egypt and coming back, and that energetic field that Egyptian has filled their fields, and then it's hitting you energetically, and all of a sudden your memories are starting to open back up, and you're like, oh, I was there. And this is what I did. Or if you're just kind of curious, what did I do? So a lot of the times, it's all about rediscovering that piece, and it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. And so you'll need to ask yourself, why is it that I'm so drawn up to this? Why am I so drawn to sci-fi movies? Or why am I so drawn to Lord of the Rings? Or, instances such as those. They are keys. They are little guides, I guess you would call them, or maybe little placements that you've set up because you guys set up this, little hints.
Yes.
Hints
are good.
Hints.
Yeah.
You set them up.
Yeah.
So that way it puts you back in alignment to whatever it is, whatever lesson at that time, or whatever flavor, as I like to call it, whatever flavor. If you're supposed to be working with the native tradition, then you might have a lot of those hints come to you. So maybe a lot of feathers are falling all around you, or maybe you're like, okay, I need to watch Dances with Wolves again. Let's see what that's about.
Kundan, which is about the Dalai Lama,
Yeah.
and how he became the Dalai Lama, and the destroying of the monasteries during that time when the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, and yep, exactly. And I'm just going to address Felicia's question here. Some of us, yes, Lane, we were talking about this earlier.
So have we all been in other lives together?
Yes. Those are the hints as well. So, like we were giving the example with Sophia and I, she and I were Lakota before. We were in part of the Lakota Nation, and she was, in some aspects, she was an apprentice for me. And so it was that same dynamic of teacher and like daughter-teacher kind of relationship. So she was learning the medicine ways, and I was being that person to provide insight for her. So yeah, in that time, when we came back together, and it's like I said, it's a continuation, not just for her, but for me as well. The example with Sophia and I, she and I were Lakota before. We were in part of the Lakota Nation, and she was, in some aspects, she was an apprentice for me. And so it was that same dynamic of teacher and like daughter-teacher kind of relationship. So she was learning the medicine ways, and I was being that person to provide insight for her. So yeah, in that time, when we came back together, and it's like I said, it's a continuation, not just for her, but for me as well, where we left off. Because unfortunately, she didn't get to finish, because of some things that happened in that lifetime, which we both came aware of it. But now it's like, okay, and this time it's shifted, so therefore she can finish.
And I've been, from what I'm getting, it's going to be a very, very long lifetime for me here, because I have a lot of work that where I've been killed or committed suicide or just my life ended early, and so a lot of lifetimes are coming back into this one to finish all these other lifetimes. So and that's still a choice, that as well. I mean, I think there is a map that says, okay, I decided that I'm going to be here for a long time and finish out this lifetime. And there is a part of that is free will. Like if I decided, well, you know what, maybe I want to end my life. I might try to attempt it, and I might succeed. Or Spirit might say, in some kind of near-death experience, where they might go, no, we're not going to let you out so easily and early. You need to go back and finish up. So, and
as I like to say, if I gotta be here, you gotta be here.
Yeah, you'll be intervening. Yeah. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely, we do have lifetimes together, and we all play different roles. Sometimes we switch roles. One, and let's go back a little bit too. Not everything has to be harsh. And if you're kind in a lifetime, you have the best intention. It's coming from your heart. You really come in, and everything that you do is really with the best intention, with love and kindness and compassion to others. You will be served in other ways. It could be this lifetime or another lifetime. You don't always know, but you will be served something repaid to you in kind as well. So not everything is going to be harsh and punishing and all that. And it is also our perspective. We also get to choose. That's our free will. We get to choose what our perspective is. One person's going to look at their car being totaled as, oh, this is a divine blessing because I asked for another car.
Yep.
And I want another vehicle, and here's Spirit's serving me. Maybe I didn't expect that I was going to get my car totaled, but I did ask for another car, and this is how it's being served. Now, that person could look at it as a blessing. Another person in that same situation could look at it as, pissed off, traumatic. Why is this happening to me? Mm-hmm. This always happens to me. Yes. Being a victim. And so that instance there, that could be a good example where that person was supposed to go back into the positive side of it, the lighter side of it, and see how it brought them what they were asking for. So a lot of times I always tell individuals, past lives are great, but sometimes maybe you're not supposed to know. Maybe you're not supposed to know, so really be careful what you ask for. The fun and light side of it all is like, you'll get glimpses of what that life might be, but you're not going to remember the whole thing because it could be more traumatic in this time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And relationships, but going back to relationships, we serve in each other's lives, and we do put each, we ask, well, who's going to step up to do this, and who's going to fill this soul contract. And as for some of you that might think, okay, with the Holocaust and Hitler and the horrifying things that went on, there was a soul that stepped up to be Hitler. Somebody had to play that role. And as from the divine perspective, everything is completely whole, perfect, and in divine order. Does that mean happiness, joy, harmony, peace? Not always. It can be on the other side of things too. It's still perfectly whole, complete, and in divine order, and it served the planet somehow. We are on a planet where there's polar opposites. We live in on a planet that there is duality. And so as much as someone is doing good and great, there is a complete polar opposite effect on the other side too. And it is for us to discern and look at it from a different perspective. Because once we open Pandora's box, we can't close that box and deny that we have an awareness and awakening and a consciousness that can decide, what am I going to judge? Or am I going to judge at all? And know that everything that I did in this life, I chose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Should we go ahead and take some questions? Did you have anything else, any messages from Spirit or anything that you wanted to share with us?
Not yet. I'm sure it'll come.
Okay. All right. So, I'll let you, I'll kind of scroll through both of ours and let's see. Oops. Swipe left to review. Okay, here we go. That came back. Sorry, guys. Just a second. We got a bunch of hellos here. Hi, Garrett and Sophia. Thanks for doing this. Hola. Glad to be listening. This fix my life. Let's see. Hi, guys. Sorry I'm having many issues. Can't stay, but thanks for your wisdom. Namaste. Okay, so if you guys have questions and comments, now's the good time to
put them in there. Very interactive.
Yeah.
Feel free to ask questions. So
this is why it's great to do live, because then we can have you guys interact with us. Hola. Hello, you two. Looking forward to your talk from Suzanne. Hugs and kisses. Thanks for hosting from Trababe. I'm sorry.
Trababe. That's Tracy. Hey, Tracy.
Okay. Felicia, hi, brother. You both.
And some of us, to talk a little bit more about soul groups, some of us come back as a group. So we come back coming together as a group. And what happens is right before you incarnate back to Earth, we tend to split up. So we split up, and then we go to different corners and different aspects of Earth, and what ends up happening is we come back together.
Right.
And that's actually the time of now. So, I was given this message earlier this year, the time of the lone wolf is no more. It is now time for us to go out there and find our wolf pack. And what that means is truly finding those individuals that you have a strong, strong soul resonance to. You know they're part of your tribe, you know that you're part of your people. And it's almost to the point like you could almost finish each other's sentences. And the communication can be very telepathic. You could be in each other's heads and not even realize it. That's how close you are as a soul group, because they're different segments. They're segmented, but when you come together, they're back whole, they're back complete. So from that perspective, yeah, some of us, but not all the times are we put back together like in the same type of environment or the same type of situation. Some of us incarnate here in the U.S., some of us are native in time, some of us are probably European, some of us are in China somewhere. So yeah, it's just a matter of like what you choose to embark on in this time.
Okay. If we came from a background of poverty thinking mindsets, doesn't that mean in our lifetime we can transform that area? If so, how? Rewire our subconscious mind.
Yes.
Yes. You are here with the opportunity to change that if you choose. It's always about choice. So you're being born, you chose that path so that you could choose whether or not to continue that path in this lifetime or to continue to or look for a way to change it. So yes, absolutely.
And it also, just to kind of touch base with Sophia, it's all about free will. And what it is you're basically reprogramming yourself. So reprogramming the notion of transformation, so transforming. So when you look back at this time where you feel impoverished, now you can reprogram that and call forward your benefits, call forward your positive universal karmic bank. Because it's not always negative. That's something that when you think of karma, and I know Sophia had touched on this earlier with one of her previous feeds about karma, a lot of people tend to have the notion that karma is just strictly negative. Negative, we're never going to learn, why does this keep happening? But what it comes down to is you have the choice. You choice, if you're done, then you can neutralize that karma and say, I'm done, I'm going to rewrite my contract, and then this time, this is what I want. And then you would call your positive karma full force. So if you're ready to do that, that's where, yes, you would rewire your subconscious mind, which I'm actually looking at you right now, and I'm helping you with this, Michael. I'm tuning into your fields. I hope you don't mind. So I'm starting to really speak to your energy and that strong ego that you have, the rational part of who you are.
Yeah, and that's the part also that even though you are looking to rewire your mind, you're going to constantly have to be in that conscientious state of getting out of your own way. Because you will be presented with obstacles, and some things may trigger you to act in the old way. But if you're asking for things to be rewired and a new program to run, if you're asking for, sorry guys, we're having
distraction.
A little you are still going to have to actively be a participant. It's not just going to happen like overnight. You're going to have to be actively participating, because when an experience comes to you that could have been an obstacle in your path, but now you're asking for a new way to look at it, a different perspective, rewiring your conscious mind, you're going to have to go into that conscientious side and go, okay, this happened last time. It's coming to me again. How am I going to show up?
What's my approach going to be this time?
Yes.
You ask yourself that question. What is my approach going to be like in this time?
Yeah.
And that's where you're given choice. As I mentioned, free will comes back into it right then and there. So at that point, if you've had enough, then you can declare and say, I've had enough. I'm done. I've made my amends. So therefore, let me amend my contract and reprogram. Now, let's look forward toward abundance. Let's call it forward. And then, you can call on your guides and angels and all the other helpers to come and help magnify that and to make it happen. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, because I think, Michael, you asked the question that, there's several out there that have that same question. So thank you for asking that. We are at 7:45, and if you guys had any other questions, put them in there. But we'll give it about another 30 seconds to a minute and see if anybody else has anything else to say. While we're waiting for that, how do they get a hold of you? How does any?
Well, you can get a hold of me by going to my website, www.navajoilluminations.com.
Mm-hmm.
I post a lot of my events there. I also have a Facebook page, Navajo Illuminations. On my Facebook, I have been posting a lot of my work, a lot of the classes that I do. I also have my phone number and email that's posted on both pages. So if you're needing guidance on or healing work in some aspect, or just even to talk or whatnot, I'm certainly available. We are going to be doing tomorrow. I'm going to be live at Soul Inspiration. I'm going to be doing readings and clearings and energy work there. So at Soul Inspiration from 11 to 5.
That's in Denver.
That's in Denver.
International.
Yeah, she's having her monthly fair. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Cheryl. So I'll be there live. So if you want to come see me, visit me in person, I'll be there to provide guidance, questions. We are going to be offering 20-minute sessions, so come and see me there. And also one other thing, too, I want to announce next week, so I'm very excited. And actually, it's very in tune with what we're discussing about past lives. So one of the events that we have planned for next Wednesday on 12/7 is to do a fun class that I call Recognizing and Honoring Your Inner Native. And this class is for those of you who have a strong Native American resonance. And it's not just in North America. A lot of the times what ends up happening, it's more on the indigenous in general. So if it's Native Hawaiian or Native Russian or Native Mayan, sometimes those lifetimes will come through too as well. So we're going to be doing that class webinar. You'll find the information on both my website and both on Facebook too.
Great. Well, thanks for that. And for those of you that are interested in releasing any of your vows from other lifetimes, I do that work as well. And so I do releasing vows of poverty, anti-materialism, chastity, celibacy, obedience, self-worth, silence, releasing cutting cords, other people's energies, that you've had some interesting experiences that are causing blocks and obstacles, challenges and interferences in your life in this lifetime. So there's lots of vows that we've taken, and I can assist with that, as well as I do spiritual guidance, and we kind of look at what's going on in your life, what the obstacle is, and I can look at other lifetimes, how it's interfering into this lifetime, and look at assisting you in clearing and releasing that as well. And so I don't think we have any other. Oh, by the way, sorry, you can go to my website at Sophia, SOPHIA Rashkin, RASHKIN, Sophia-Rashkin.com, and that's where you can get a hold of me. But I don't think we have any other. Oh, wait, there's a whole bunch here. Sorry, guys. Does our prosperity change in this lifetime?
Yes.
Yes. We can change, and we can make all kinds of changes. We have that free will. So thanks, Yvette, for that question. Michael, you're welcome on answering your question. Is that how we rewrite our contracts for abundance? Is that a dog snoring? We actually, and we'll kind of tease Chris. We have a good friend over here named Chris. He's behind the camera, and apparently we've been very interesting to him, so he decided to fall asleep and give us a little bit of background music. That's okay. He's turning red. It's fun though, guys. It's all fun. This is what it's all about. I love it. We can always use a good laugh, can't we? Let's see. Navajos. What was it? Okay, I don't understand what that question means.
Oh, NavajoIllumination.com.
Oh, illumination.
So ILLUMINATION. So Illuminations. It is posted on the video down below. You'll see it, Navajo Illuminations.
Yes, Navajo Illuminations. Yeah, it's posted on. In intimate relationships, is it best if
Kay's making fun of you, Chris. OMG, Chris.
Hilarious. Ha 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 ha.
Well, you can give him grief tomorrow, Kay. We'll give him grief for sure.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe I shouldn't have said your name. Sorry. Yeah, we're having a good laugh over here, guys.
That's good.
Friday
See,
night.
We've been serious through this whole thing, and we need to lighten it up.
Yeah, exactly. In intimate relationships, is it best if one experiences many of them to learn and grow from them, or is it okay to stay with the first one you meet until the last days of your life? Soul contracts, you got free will. I mean, there's a lot of things mixed in that, and I will tell you, in my own experience, now I've allowed Spirit to divinely intervene in my relationships, and that is because I know my path is very big here in this lifetime to finish out some work that has been where these other souls have caused and been obstacles in other lifetimes that did not allow me to finish out my work. So, being that I know what I know in my conscientious way, I have asked Spirit to divinely intervene and remove them from my path. Now, did I go kicking and screaming on the way out? Yes, because I didn't want to go through some of the breakups and heartaches of the relationships. But after a period of time in the grieving process of that, I saw the blessing in disguise that it brought me and how it cleared my path so that I could, because I did want to travel my path, and I did ask for my path to be cleared and have me do my work in an easy, smooth, comfortable, harmonious way. And I did ask specifically, any obstacles that become challenges are to be removed. So I consciously did that. Now, if you don't have this awareness of saying this, I mean, you can say what I just said and things will be removed, but yeah, it is kind of a choice. And maybe you're here to learn something with that person or that soul in that relationship. So,
and Michael, just to kind of address the questions that you're asking right now about reincarnation, he's asking what would motivate them, individuals, I should say, to get things done this lifetime when they believe that they can just come back and finish them in the next lifetime. So in that instance, that's where universal divine intervention will come in. A lot of the times the teachers, guides, and angels, they'll magnify it. Because, and also yourself. So if you're looking at it from the sense of higher self, your higher self will tell you, it's like, sorry, if you're going to have that attitude about it, then we're going to magnify it and make it much more intense for you. Mm-hmm. So in hopes that you get snap out of it and hope you can alleviate it and whatever lesson that needs to come as a result of it, get it over with. Otherwise, yeah, you might come back, but you come back this time it might be more detrimental. It might be more, like Sophia had mentioned the example of abuse of power. So maybe like you're king and queen and you took advantage of your power in that aspect. So in the next lifetime, you might come back poor as heck, and then you're playing victim continuously. So that's where in that aspect, it does have a little bit of universal intervention that comes in, but it's all basically up to them. I look at that question to me is really good, by the way, because in some sense, it's like you're looking at it as a cop-out. You're looking at it as like, okay, if I'm not going to face them down this time, there's always the next lifetime. And that's looking at it from more of I guess a more lower vibrational, more negative kind of aspect. But really what comes down is that it's their choice. And if they want to continue to be that person, and they're going to come back. They will, and it's going to be, who knows what it's going to be when they do come back.
That's it's a great question, and that's why we're doing this video, to bring the awareness that in society, if we are taught more about our consequences and understand that we do incarnate and we do go through our experiences for whatever we're supposed to get lessons out of it. And I don't mean lessons always negative. They can be good, positive ways as well. If we as a society, civilization, country, government, understand, and we can start educating people and making them aware of the consequences of their good actions as well as not so good actions, then yes, we will then be conscientious that, what I'm doing to this person or showing up in this way and doing this and that has some consequences to it. But we in this side of the world, in Western society, don't really get a whole lot of that. Now, in the Eastern side of the world, there's a lot. I mean, that's why, karma it means something different over there. But it does tell you for just like in science, every action, there's an equal reaction to that. And so this is why we're doing these videos, to bring this awareness to the world and the planet.
And so just to answer your question, Sarah, and this is kind of slightly off the topic, but it's definitely, for you beginners and getting an understanding with the universal element of things. One of the key things that separates and differentiates your guides versus angels is, in some sense, there is a little bit of a hierarchy, but usually for the most part, guides have lived here on Earth before. That's the biggest difference. So they have an idea of what it was like to live here on Earth. Guides could be in the form of like your animals, like previous animals that might have lived here before, or it could be your past relatives, or even past ancestors. A lot of times for me, a lot of ancestral spirits will come through to assist in a healing session for individuals, and versus angelic forms. So the angelic forms have not incarnated here on Earth. They're just pure high vibrational beings, very high vibrational, energetic, and they're basically just kind of holding space, and they act whenever we call on them and give them permission to work freely.
Yeah. You guys for coming up on our time, and we appreciate you again. You can reach Garrett at NavajoIlluminations.com. And you can reach me at Sophia, Sophia.
I like how Michael's like, it's not for me. I'm like, sure it is. Sophia-Rashkin.com. And guys, we appreciate all your questions and comments and your love and being here with us for the last hour, because we know that you spend your time very wisely, and it's a Friday night, and you could be somewhere else, but you chose to spend the last hour with us, and so we greatly appreciate your time and being here with us. And so, we are going to have one more before the new year. So we'll definitely have one more Facebook Live. And we've both been discussing the topic of kids, and a lot of the kids that are coming into the world nowadays, all ages, shapes, size, flavors, as I like to call them. So the next time when we do our Facebook Live, it's probably going to be in about 2 weeks, and we'll be definitely discussing a lot of the kids that are here. Yeah, the kids that are here on the planet, and what's coming up, and how we can help them, what you can do to help them. Because right now a lot of them are mislabeled, ADD, ADHD, autistic. There are a lot of labels, but their way of communication is very different, because it is a different vibration coming from cosmos and different dimensions. So we are going to be discussing that and how that is affecting the planet right now. But thank you guys for being here with us. We love you all. Mwah, mwah. Much love and many blessings. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for now. Bye. Bye-bye.